Douglas County Sheriff's Office says 20-year-old David Powell gunned down Lyric inside her car Saturday. Investigators say the two had some type of relationship, saying they met at the Dollar General on Kings Highway after having a disagreement. That's when police say Powell shot Lyric multiple times.
What follows is the music-inspired summary of the case of 19-year-old Lyric Latrice Farley. What's striking is how many of these titles, and at times even the lyrics, seem to align with the dynamics of the case, reflecting the relationship, the individuals involved, and statements made along the way. Weekend Girl by the SOS Band. Released on October 13, 1984, a young college student was gunned down over the weekend near a neighborhood store. College Girl by Travis Porter, released on March 28, 2011. 19-year-old UWG student Lyric Farley was shot and killed. You and Me by Gunna and Chloe, released on February 14, 2022. She was shot multiple times and killed by 20-year-old David Mark Anthony Powell, a man she once shared a personal relationship with. Parking Lot by Mustard featuring Travis Scott, released on June 21, 2024. The shooting happened in the parking lot behind a Dollar General. Let's Get It Started by MC Hammer, released on September 28, 1988. Deputies responding to a 911 call reporting shots fired found a woman inside a vehicle. Tell Me by Bobby V and Lil Wayne, released on August 2, 2005. Farley was shot multiple times and was pronounced deceased at the scene. Controversy by Prince, released on October 14, 1981. Investigators believe the two met following a disagreement and that Farley was fatally shot during that meeting. Lights, Camera, Action by Mr. Cheeks, released on August 12, 2001. Investigators worked through the night using surveillance footage, investigative leads, and technology to track down Powell. Pullover by Trina, released on February 13, 2000. Powell was arrested during a traffic stop without incident. He has been charged with murder and aggravated assault. Now You're Gone by the Tony Rich Project, released on October 26, 2017. What began as something familiar ended in tragedy. As the old saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt, but sometimes it breeds catastrophe, like a group project gone wrong. This is the essence of the story ahead. In a moment of heated emotion, a man acted in a way that was all too familiar for couples in conflict. Yet this time, his actions left more than just one family reeling. It threw the whole community into a state of disarray, much like a food fight in a crowded cafeteria. On Saturday, February 7, 2026, around 1 p.m., police responded to reports of gunfire near Central Church Road and Kings Highway, behind a Dollar General store. Upon arrival, they discovered the body of a woman in a vehicle, who was pronounced deceased at the scene. The victim was identified as Lyric Farley, a 19-year-old freshman at the University of West Georgia. She had sustained multiple gunshot wounds. In their investigation, the detectives approached the case with academic rigor, studying the syllabus of evidence, reviewing witness statements like lecture notes, and analyzing surveillance footage as if it were a final project in film studies. Their scholarly efforts led them to identify the suspect. Just 12 hours after the crime, 20-year-old David Mark Anthony Powell was arrested around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, February 8th, after being pulled over on I-20 near Highway 5. He was taken into custody without incident. Police also impounded several firearms found in the vehicle, all linked to the crime. Investigators learned that Lyric and David had been in a relationship. Prior to their meeting behind the Dollar General, they had a disagreement that tragically resulted in Lyric's death. David Powell has been booked into the University of Hard Knocks, majoring in murder and minoring in aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He's currently on a full-time residency program in custody with no graduation date in sight. Disagreements are inevitable. Destruction is optional. Conflict doesn't mean the love is over. It's how you handle it that decides the relationship's future. Listen to understand, not reply. David should have just understood and tried to work it out, but instead he replied. And with that reply, he would leave a lot of people on red. May Lyric Farley rest in peace. Lesson Plan 101, Domestic Violence is never acceptable. Just like that lecture you don't want to retake, let's ensure this lesson sticks the first time. If you or someone you know is facing domestic violence, remember that assistance is available around the clock. Reach out. Call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for support.
Deputies say she agreed to meet her accused killer.
That's right, Karen. Deputies say that Lyric Farley and David Powell met right here in this parking lot behind this dollar store. They say for some reason Powell shot Farley, killing her. I've been digging into this case, trying to find a motive, so I went to Powell's first appearance, hoping it would shed some light on why this happened.
If you would go ahead first and state your full and correct name for the record and for the court.
David Mark Anthony Powell.
Accused murderer David Powell told Judge Cynthia Adams he is 20 years old and that he could read, write, and understand the English language.
Are you now under the influence of the alcohol, drugs, or any medication that would affect your ability to understand what's taking place?
No, ma'am.
The judge then told Powell the serious charges he faces, like felony murder.
By causing the death of Lyric Latrice Farley by shooting her multiple times.
Detectives say Farley and Powell had a personal relationship. They had gotten into a disagreement and agreed to meet in the parking lot behind this Dollar General on Kings Highway Saturday around 1 that afternoon. For some reason, deputies say Powell shot the University of West Georgia student, killing her. Deputies say cameras in the area helped identify Powell. They say technology and good old-fashioned police work helped locate him around 12 hours after the shooting.
All right, Mr. Powell, that means...
The judge told Powell what will happen next in his case and let him know he may have a chance to get bond.
You are entitled to, if you file for a motion related to bond, to have a hearing as to that issue as well.
Chiquita Brown was putting together this goodie bag for a Valentine's Day brunch with her oldest daughter and her youngest, 19-year-old Lyric Farley. Lyric bought this outfit to wear.
In the shirt, it said, "I got a thing for you."
Lyric won't make the brunch after she was shot to death in this parking lot on Kings Highway. Brown will never forget getting the news Lyric was gone.
I'm very hurt. I was lost for words.
Deputies say the University of West Georgia student and 20-year-old David Powell were in a personal relationship and had gotten into an argument. Officers say they agreed to meet behind the Dollar General, and that's when Powell shot Lyric. Deputies arrested Powell about 12 hours later.
I absolutely want to know why. I do want answers.
Brown says she had never met Powell and has no idea what kind of relationship he and Lyric had. The shooting took place on a Saturday afternoon just after 1.
It bothers me that it happened in broad daylight. Like, who could do that in broad daylight?
Brown showed me all the awards Lyric won at Carrollton High.
She was an awesome young lady.
For band, the honor roll, JROTC, and she was a wrestling champion. Even though her life was cut short, Brown says she forgives her killer.
In order for me to be forgiven, I have to forgive. The funny TikToks.
Lyric Farley, a 19-year-old who wore many hats, is being remembered by her mother, Chiquita Brown, as a kind, caring, compassionate soul who loved everybody.
It's very hard because we were really, really tight. You know, she was around me more than any of my kids. My phone is filled with selfies of her, videos of her, you know. I mean, she wore my clothes, she took my shoes, you know, so she was just like the one close to me. You know, she knew me. I would say it's more pain and for me losing her, not being her being around, you know, she's not here, but she will never be forgotten. You know, I will visually have her in my mind, you know, every day.